Okay, this is for math. Since we can't take the test today, we are going to go ahead and start the next unit. Okay, the test will be on Friday on the unit we just finished. So we're going to start. There's a story that goes along with this unit. So you can look at the picture. It is math Worktext pages 33, 34, and 35, 36. It's 2 pages that you have to have for today's paper. Okay. Tonight for homework, you're going to do math reviews 29 and 30, which is like the test. That will help you to be prepared for the test. And it's like the paper we did yesterday. And I've already checked those and given them back to you so you can see what you were missing. So you can study for the test for tomorrow. All right, Horatio Hunt. Haley wove through the crowded streets of Provincetown at the Cape Cod National Seashore. Remember, Cape Cod is where the Pilgrims first landed? She glanced into the window of a diner just in time to see a tourist pop an oyster into her mouth. Oysters, Horatio, Haley exclaimed. I bet you'd never eat one of those. There was no whiskery tickle to her ear in answer. Horatio? Haley asked, looking at her shoulder and then up into a nearby tree. Horatio, where are you? Haley frowned and kept walking, looking around in concern. I hope he hasn't gotten lost, she thought. As she headed toward Pilgrim Monument, she noticed a column of smoke. Hoping that Horatio wasn't responsible, she hurried toward it. When Haley drew closer, she realized the smoke was from a huge clam bake. People in white aprons were stacking raw clams in racks and then placing the racks on top of glowing hot coals. Customers stood around eating the steamed clams, but there was no sign of Horatio. She spotted a small blonde-haired boy with a pushcart rushing through the crowd as if trying to get away from someone. Then she noticed Horatio bounding after the boy. Hey, stop! Haley shouted. The boy froze in his tracks and looked at her in surprise. Haley felt her face get hot as she blushed. She had meant to yell at Horatio, not at the boy. I'm sorry, Haley stammered. I was talking to my pet squirrel, Horatio. He's behind you. Was he chasing you? Yeah, he was, the boy replied. I was counting out the peanut butter sandwiches I had made when your squirrel, Henry, tried to take one. Haley laughed. His name is Horatio. I'm sorry he tried to steal a sandwich from you. What's your name? Andrew, the boy answered, but you can call me Andy. Horatio scampered around Andy's feet and jumped onto Haley's shoulder, then bent close to her ear as if whispering. Haley grinned at the boy. That's squirrel talk for I'm sorry. She peered inside Andy's pushcart curiously. You sure have a lot of sandwiches there. Are you hungry or something? She joked. Andy giggled. No, these aren't for me. I'm supposed to drop off 112 of these sandwiches at a boys' home. We made 208 sandwiches in all at my church. I need to save 37 of them for our Bible club later today. Any extra sandwiches will be given to the orphanage. I'm wondering how many sandwiches I'll have left to take to the orphanage. Want to help me count? Haley squealed with delight. Horatio, remember how we've been learning that math helps people help other people? This is an opportunity for us to use what we learned. Horatio chattered at Haley in irritation. She frowned. Horatio, she said quietly, those sandwiches are for the kids at the boys' home, the Bible club, and the orphanage. All of those kids are special. They are made in the image of God. It's important for us to use math to help people because they reflect who God is by bearing his image. Horatio blinked twice. Then he slumped his shoulders and gave a quiet chirp of consent. Haley smiled. I'm glad you agree. Then she looked at Andy with determination. We're ready to help. All right, everybody turn your paper over from the picture to the other side and read in the yellow box what it says. Math helps people help people. All right, so part of what we're going to be learning this time is about rounding. All right, So we're going to use rounding to add numbers up quickly. You can add them up in your head. If you round numbers up, then you can add them quickly in your head without having to do all the calculation to get the correct answer. Now we will calculate to get the correct answer too, but we will show how you could just do it in your head if you needed to do it fast by rounding. So let's look at the first problem. It says Andy has about 200 sandwiches. How many sandwiches does Andy have? So with that one, you're supposed to find the number that would have rounded to 200. So look at all four of those numbers, remembering what you know about rounding to the nearest hundred. Which one is right? Michael?
208.
Very good, 208. 208 has a 0 in the tens column. 0 would stay the same. So you're going to stay at 200. So go ahead and put 200. All right, now let's look at number 2. The boys' home needs 112 sandwiches. The Bible Club needs 37 sandwiches. How many sandwiches does Andy need? All right, so we're going to start there. This would be a story problem. So how many does the boys' home need?
112.
Michael, did I ask about Bible Club or the boys' home?
That's what I meant.
Well, you need to stop and think before you speak, okay? So, boys' home, how many?
112.
112. So you need to write 112 over in that box. There's a round cornered box. So you're going to write 112. And how many for the Bible Club?
37.
37. Underneath that, make sure you're lining up your numbers, 37. And then there's a circle over here. Do you guys see the circle?
Yeah.
What are you going to put in the circle?
Plus.
Plus, because we are going to add. We're going to add the sandwiches needed at the boys' home and the orphanage. Oh, Bible Club, sorry. Because orphanage is going to get any leftover sandwiches, right? So this is boys' home and this is Bible Club. All right, so now what we need to do is add it up. You need to stop looking at other people's papers. Do you understand where you need to be putting it? There's a little box. We're at number 2. Are you at number 2?
Yeah.
Do you see the little round cornered box? It looks something like this. They have that line in it. They have a circle in it. You're supposed to put a plus sign in the circle. Do you see it now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you would have done it this way last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's add it up. 2 plus 7 is?
9.
9. So put a 9 down here. 1 plus 3 is?
4.
4. 1 plus 3. 3 plus 1, 4. And then 1 plus nothing is?
1.
All right, now over to the side here, you have a line to write it out going long ways. So they have a line and a circle and a line and a circle and another line. So now we're going to write it going long ways. So what are we at first?
112.
112. And in the circle we're going to put a
Plus sign.
Now we're going to put
37.
Now we're going to put
Equal.
equal sign. Both this and this both mean equal. And now we know the answer already, so we're going to put
149.
All right, now on the line below it, you now write your answer, which is?
Sandwiches.
No,
Wait, no.
that's not what I asked, Michael.
149.
The answer is 149, and you need to put a label, which would be?
Sandwiches.
Now you say sandwiches, so I'm asking for the label. And if you don't know how to spell sandwiches, then look at the question. The question says, how many sandwiches? So make sure you spell it correctly. It is sandwiches. I'm not going to make you write it as a sentence. I just want the answer and the label. That's all I need. You have a much longer line because they actually wrote it as a sentence. All right, moving on to number 3. Number 3 is another story problem. This says Andy has 208 sandwiches and needs 149 sandwiches for the boys' home and Bible Club. The orphanage will receive the extra sandwiches. How many sandwiches will the orphanage receive? So, we're using the same type box. And I'm going to erase these over here. I'm going to leave sandwiches because we're going to be writing sandwiches again. Alright, but let's start. And this time what do we need to do? We need to subtract. Because he made figured out, isn't it? So make sure you line it up neatly like this. The ones column lined up, the tens column lined up, and the hundreds column lined up. If you're not lined up, then you need to make it line up. You cannot write it like this, 208 minus 149. No, you have to line up every column neatly. You guys understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, think before you speak. What is 8 minus 9?
1.
No.
Then you would have to go to the
You can't do it.
You
So
have to
you
go
have
to
to
the
go to
tens.
the tens column. Does the tens column have anything to give us?
No.
So
No.
we have to go to the hundreds
Hundreds.
column. So you're going to cross out the 2. You're going to take 1 from the hundreds. Because remember, 100 is 10 tens. Right? So we're going to take 100. So this 2 becomes a 1 because we took one of those hundreds and we're going to turn it back into tens. 100 is 10 tens, so we have 0 tens. Well, let's just put a little 1 here, and now we have 10 tens because we took it from the hundreds. Right? You need to be doing this. You guys need to be doing this. You need to cross out the 2 and make it be 100, not 200. We took that 100 and turned it into 10 tens, so now the 0 tens becomes 10 tens, because 0 and 10 is 10, right? Now we can take away from the 10 tens. So let's take away one of the 10 tens, and we have how many tens? 9 tens, and 1 10 is equal to 10 ones. So if we have 10 and 8, that becomes 18. So the 1 10 that we took becomes 10 ones, and 10 plus this 8 is 18. So let's make this 8 now be an 18 by putting a little 1 in front of it. Now I know Mrs. Dyson taught you to cross it out. We're not going to do that this year. To me, that's too much crossing out and too many numbers. You can easily just do it by putting a little tiny 1 in front of that 8, and it looks like 18 now, right? Instead of crossing out the 8 and writing 18 again above it. Can't you put a little tiny 1 and make it look like 18?
Yes.
So that's the way we're going to do it this year. Okay? Now that this number on top is bigger than the number on bottom, we can subtract now. We couldn't do 8 minus 9, because if I only have 8 pieces of candy, can you take away 9 from me?
No.
Because I don't have enough. But 18 minus 9 is
9.
and 9 minus 4 is
5.
and 1 minus 1 is
0.
0. Do we need to put the 0?
No.
No, because our answer is
59.
all right, now go to the problem beside it, and you're going to write, first of all,
59.
no, you're not.
No.
Michael, please stop blurting out answers. We have to write the whole problem out. What's the first number we need to write?
208.
Thank you, Brantley. Where are the rest of you? 208, which was the first number we had in our subtraction problem, 208. And we're going to do what?
Minus.
Subtract. So put a minus sign. And we're going to subtract what?
149.
Thank you. That time it was Elise and somebody else. 208 minus 149, we already know the answer.
59.
59, and then on the line below that, you would write 59 and the label of sandwiches. Yes?
It doesn't have that,
It doesn't have that going across?
It's just a
Oh,
long
okay, then you're just gonna do this. Sorry, you're not gonna do this time. I did not realize that because I didn't look at the paper, I just assumed it had it. So you're not gonna do this for that problem. If they have it there, then you would do it. They will a lot of times on a story problem, they will have you do it both ways. You just have to write 59 sandwiches, guys. That's all you have to write. All right, let's start this. Oh, we have one more thing to do. It says, Andy and Haley use math to help people because God made people in his own
image.
And I'll write the word image so that you know how to spell it, just in case you don't. I-M-A-G-E, image. So write that word image at the bottom, and then let's start our second paper. I'm gonna erase all this, just in case we need that. Now, if you did not get that renaming for subtraction, don't worry about it. I will teach it again when it actually comes out. Because remember, today's paper is just showing you a lot of things we're going to be learning this unit. So if you didn't understand that, don't worry. I will reteach it when it comes to that. But what we're going to do first of all is pretty easy. because this is rounding to the nearest 10 and rounding to the nearest 100. So everybody look at the blue box on your paper. This is page 35 and 36. Let's read what it says. It says, round down if the number to the right of the rounding digit is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Now I don't say round down because that makes people think they have to go to a lower 10. I say stay the same. They're just saying that you're going back to the one that's to the left. Like if you were rounding a number that's in between 20 and 30 and you were at 24, you would round down to the 20. But I don't like to say round down because I have people that think it means they need to go down to 10. They say, oh, this is 2, I need to go down to 10. No, that's confusing. I say stay the same. So 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, stay the same. 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9,
Go higher.
So 7 would say go higher, right? 4 would say stay the same, stay at 20, and 7 would say go higher. So go from 20 up to 30. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So then it says estimate. So you're going to look at the numbers you're adding up. For example, they took 74 and they rounded it to 70. They took 15 and rounded it to
20.
70 plus 20, you can do that easily. 70 plus 20 is
90.
Since 7 plus 2 is 9, 70 plus 20 is 90. But then they do add it up for real. 4 plus 5 is 9, and 7 plus 1 is 8. So the real answer is 89. You guys see that?
Yes.
Then we have rounding to the nearest 100. So 287 would round to
300.
510 would round to
500.
and 300 plus 500 is
800.
Why are you guys not looking at the blue box on your paper where I'm getting this information from? And then add up the real thing. 287 plus 510, 7 plus 0 is
797.
No. Brantley, I asked you what 7 plus 0 was. What's 7 plus 0? 7, thank you. Then what is 8 plus 1?
9.
And 5 plus 2? Or 2 plus 5? And so the total is 797. Alright, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Alright, in the blue box, we're going to write our rounding numbers. Alright? Now, I can do a blue box by just making, I can't shade it blue, but I can just make a blue box like this. And I'm not going to do this for all of them. I'm just going to do a few of them. Okay? So the first problem we're going to do is 52 plus 35. Alright, so 52 plus 35. Alright, so 52. Who's the boss? 2. 2 says?
Stay safe.
So in the blue box, you're going to put
50.
and they already have your plus sign and they already have your equal sign underneath. 35, who's the boss?
The 5.
5 says?
Go higher.
So you're going to go to?
40.
And very easily, 50 plus 40 is?
90.
In your head, you could have done that. Now let's do the real thing though. 2 plus 5 is?
7.
7. And 5 plus 3 is?
8.
87. Are you done? Did you do it with me? Henry, I don't know why I'm calling you Henry. Hunter, did you do it? Yes or no?
I did this one.
I need you to do this one. I need you to not put your pencil down. I need you to keep it in your hand because I'm fixing to do them. I'm not going to do them on the board. I'm just going to talk you through them and you need to be with me. Do you understand? So don't put your pencil down again, okay? Keep your pencil in your hand and wake up and pay attention. No, don't put it in your lap. Get it up with your paper because I'm going to go. I'm going right now. Everybody look at number 2. Number 2, we have 36 plus 32. So let's look at 36. 36, who's the boss?
The 6.
6 says?
Go higher.
So you're going to go to?
40.
So put a 40 in that blue box. Then we have 32. Who's the boss?
2.
2 says?
Stay the same.
So underneath that 40, you need to put
30.
40 plus 30?
70.
70.
70. 4 plus 3 is 7, so 40 plus 30 is 70. Now we're going to add it up for real. 6 plus 2 is?
8.
Put an 8. And 3 plus 3 is?
6.
So the real answer is?
68.
It would be helpful if you would be neat so you don't have to keep erasing. When you keep erasing, it has put you behind, okay? Are you with me? All right, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is 26 plus 31. Everybody with me?
Yes.
26, who's the boss?
The 6.
6 says?
Go higher.
So 26 becomes?
30.
So put a 30 in the blue box. The second number is 31. Who's the boss?
The 1.
1 says?
Stay the same.
So you're going to put?
6. 30.
You guys need to think before you speak. 30. Again. So you have 30 plus 30. 30 plus 30 is?
60.
So that is the estimated sum. Now add up the real thing. 6 plus 1?
7.
7. And 2 plus 3?
5. 57.
57 is your final answer. Are you having trouble over there? I keep seeing you erasing and erasing. Do you understand what we're doing? Yes or no, Hunter? Okay, what do you keep having to erase?
Well, I thought we start at the first number, but
No, we never start the first number. You always, because if you have to rename, you can't have already added this up. What if you added something up? Let me show you why you don't do that. I don't know whoever taught you to do it that way, but you should not be doing it that way. What if you had to add up like 76 plus 57? And you've already added this up. 7 plus 5 is 12, and 6 plus 7 is 13. Is your answer 1,213?
no.
Never, ever do that again. You always add your ones come first. 6 plus 7 is 13. 13. But the 3, rename the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. And 8 plus 5 is 13. 133, a big difference from 1,213 because you added up the wrong column first. You always start with a 1 and work your way that way when you're adding. Got it? Now that you know that, please make sure you're keeping up with me. I don't want us to keep seeing you erasing. Are you ready to go on to the next section? All right, moving on to the next section, we are estimating by rounding to the nearest hundred this time. So we're adding up 450 plus 221. 450, who's the boss?
The 5.
5 says?
Go higher.
So that 450 needs to go to?
500.
500, so in the box, put 500. The second number is 221. Who's the boss?
The 2 in the tens column.
Very good, Michael. The 2 in the tens column, not the 2 in the hundreds column. The 2 in the tens column tells the 2 in the hundreds column to
Stay the same.
stay at
200.
You do not stay at 221. You stay at the nearest hundred, which is 200. Got it? All right, 500 plus 200 is?
700.
Write an answer of 700. I just need you to say 700. We talked about that this morning. Don't yell it out and don't drag it out. Just say 700, please. Now add up the real thing. 0 plus 1?
1.
5 plus 2?
3.
No, 5 plus 2. We're not subtracting. 5 plus 2 is
7.
7. And 4 plus 2? 6. Final answer?
671.
Moving to number 5. 592 plus 307. Starting with 592. Who's the boss?
9 in the tens column.
9 in the tens column. Just say it. Don't drag it. 9 says?
Go higher.
So go higher to?
600.
600. 500 needs to change to 600. 307. Who's the boss?
The 0 in the tens column.
You don't need to say it every time unless they're two numbers that are the same. Like when you had 2 hundreds and 2 tens, you were clarifying which 2 you were talking about.
Okay.
All right, but there's only 1 0 here, so we can just say the 0. All right, the 0 says?
Stay the
So you're
same.
gonna stay at?
300.
All right, and then we add 800 plus 300 and
900.
900. All right, now let's add the real thing. Starting with the ones column, 2 plus 7.
9.
So put a 9. 9 plus 0.
9.
Put another 9. And last of all, 5 plus 3.
8.
Final answer.
899.
All right. Next one is 101 plus 472. 101. Who's the boss?
0.
0. So stay
Stay
the
the
same
same.
at 100.
100.
Then we have 472. 7 says
Go higher.
So 400 goes to
500.
and 100 plus 500 is
600.
that is our estimate. Now add up the real thing. 1 plus 2,
3.
0 plus 7,
7.
1 plus 4.
5.
Answer
573.
All right, moving to the story problem. Listen carefully on the story problem. Listen carefully because it's not what you think. 29 pilgrims went ashore in the morning. 12 more pilgrims went ashore in the afternoon. About how many pilgrims went ashore? They're wanting you to estimate. So over in the box, you see 29. What would 29 round to? 30. So where that arrow is pointing to, put a 30. And then 12 would round to 10. So underneath that, put a 10. And what are we going to do?
Plus.
We're going to add. So put a plus sign in that circle. 30 plus 10 is
40.
40. Now you're going to write it going across. You're just going to write 30 plus 10 equals 40. And underneath that, you need to write the answer, 40, and the label, pilgrims. Now, pilgrims is capitalized, so make sure you capitalize it. So you've written it across, and then underneath that, put 40 pilgrims, because 40 was your answer. As soon as you finish that, turn the paper over. Let's look at the back. First thing we're going to do, rounding to the nearest 10. We have 36 plus 13. 36, who's the boss?
The 6.
So,
Higher.
go higher. So go to
40.
13, who's the boss?
The 3.
3 says?
Stay the
So
same.
stay at
10.
40 plus 10.
50.
Now the real answer, 6 plus 3,
9.
3 plus 1.
4.
Answer,
49.
very good. Next problem, 22. Rounds to
20.
20. The 2 says stay the same, right? And 41, rounds to?
1 says stay the same.
So we're going to round to?
40.
I may skip saying some of the stuff now, Michael, because you guys should really know this. We already did this in the last unit. We're just doing it this unit with a little bit different twist to it, okay?
Okay.
So I may not say all the words every time. All right, so 20 plus 40 is?
60.
60. Please don't work ahead so you're not on the right problem or something. I don't know what's going on over there, but how in the world you thought 20 plus 40 was 30? I don't understand, hon. So listen carefully. All right, add up the real thing. 2 plus 1.
3.
2 plus 4.
6.
Answer?
63.
Is that what you were doing? Were you already working on the next thing? Don't work on the head me. That's when you get confused and say the wrong thing. All right, now we're going to do the hundreds. Rounding to the nearest hundreds. 316 plus 282. 316 would round to 300. The 1 says stay the same, right? And 282 rounds to 300 again. This time the 8 said go higher, so you're still end up at 300. 300 plus 300 is
600.
600. Real thing. 6 plus 2?
8.
1 plus 8?
9.
3 plus 2?
5.
Final answer?
598.
All right. Next is 405 plus 294. 405 rounds to 400 because 0 says stay the same. Remember, I may not ask you all the questions. Then we have 294, which would round to
300.
because that 9 says go higher. So you're going to go from 200 to 300. Add it up. 400 plus 300 is?
700.
700. All right, now add up the real thing. 5 plus 4.
9.
0 plus 9.
9.
4 plus 2.
6.
Answer?
699.
One more of this. 155 plus 124, 155 would round to 200. 5 says go higher. So 100 goes to 200. Then we have 124. Stay the same. So stay at
100.
100. Then we add it up. 200 plus 100.
300.
Add up the real thing. 5 plus 4.
9.
5 plus 2.
7.
1 plus 1.
2.
And the answer is?
279.
All right, we're going to skip that next section just for a moment because I'm having you do that on your own because all you have to do is add up. But make sure, really? Look at me. Don't do that or you'll get a towel. Yes, ma'am? All right, you will do 6 through 9 on your own after we do the story problem and after I tell you about the bottom because both of those you're going to do on your own, so don't be working on them. Look at your story problem first. It says, Mr. Clater was steaming clams. He put 61 clams on the larger rack and 28 clams on the smaller rack. About how many clams were steaming? So again, they want us to estimate. Okay, we are going to round. That's true, but we're estimating the answer, not finding out the real answer. So look at the number. 61 would round to 60. So in that little box where they're showing the arrow from 61, make your 60. And then 28 would round to
30.
So put your 30. All right, and then 60 plus 30 is 90. All right, then you're going to write it on the lines going across. You're going to write going across 60 plus 30 equals 90. And underneath that, you're going to write the answer of 90. And its label would be clams. Did you do it already? All right, everybody look at the bottom. At the bottom, they have a missing add-in. And then they want you to write the fact families. So if they give you a 3 and they give you a 10, your 10 is your big number. You have to figure out what's the missing number. Please don't add the 3 and the 10 together. 10 is your big number. What other number goes with 3 to make 10?
7.
No, I didn't really want you to tell me the answer, guys. I wanted you to think it through on your own, but I don't want you saying that that missing number is 13 because you're not supposed to add to find a missing add-in, are you? No. All right, then you're going to do the 2 addition and the 2 subtraction for that fact family once you know what that missing number is. All right, then make sure you go back and do numbers 6 through 9 on your own. All right. Next paper that you do will be the one you do for homework tonight. Make sure you study for that math test.